What's good, everybody? Cerebro54. Now that the rotation has taken effect, we are ready to start a brand new standard format, and I too will freshen things up with a brand new deck profile. We are finally going to be exploring and looking at Single Strike Urshifu VMAX in the standard format. And of course, you got to have his partner, Houndoom, as well. So I've been playtesting and exploring this deck even before the rotation, actually, a couple of weeks before the rotation, trying to get the best build that I can make. And the good thing about it, I guess, is that it didn't really lose many cards with the rotation. Just one or two cards I had to change. And it might be a pretty solid pick. The psychic weakness is kind of problematic. We're going to touch upon it later. But it does have a lot of perks as well. 330 HP is good. Fighting gives you some good coverage. And the Gmax 1 blow attack is very, very good. It's going to do 270. You got to discard all the energies too. But it's going to ignore effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, which is a very coveted effect to have. This is usually reserved as a sort of a weak attack on specific Pokemon because ignoring effects is just so good. It can go through Zamazenta V, it can go through Altaria and this Eye, Pokemon that would normally cause problems for Vs and VMAXs. And this is just a very great effect to have. There's so many useful implications to ignore effects on your opponent's Pokemon. Now, of course, it's going to be easy to power up this attack, or kind of easy, I guess. Thanks to Houndoom, you got to have this for the energy acceleration. It's another thing that sort of make the single strike archetype appealing. With this guy, you can grab basically a single strike energy directly from your deck and attach it to your Pokemon. So energy acceleration directly from the deck is always good. You got to put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon, but it's definitely worth it. And the other thing for this deck, of course, is that the single strike energy also gives plus 20 to your single strike Pokemon. So this isn't just going to stop at 270. You have 1 energy, it does 290. You got 2, 320, 310, then 330. So all of a sudden, this guy can even get one-hit knockouts on even VMAXs too. So even though you discard all energies, you're getting a meaningful one-hit knockout and getting 3 prizes, which make this card pretty dangerous if it sets up. It can guaranteed kill something big, and what makes it good? Beatdown is also an option, I guess, if you don't want to go for the big attack, and 100 isn't very good. It would have been better if it did like at least 120 or something, but you are going to get the boost of the energies too, single strike energies. So it's going to be stronger, like 140, maybe 160, it depends. So this is basically the main Pokemon that we gotta run. This deck is pretty straightforward. The rest of the Pokemon are going to be techs. So I run 3 Single Strike Urshifu VMAX. You probably will only maybe use 2, but you might even use 3. The point of 3 is that consistency. Make sure we see it. I've got 3 of the Single Strike Urshifu V. Of course, you gotta have this to get the VMAX out. We got this from the Battlestar set, like the original one, I guess. And then there's like 1 or 2 different promos, I think. It might just be one, like some sort of a collection or a tin promo. I think I like the first attack on the promo better, the laser focus. But I think Impact Blow is a better second attack for this one. I don't remember, to be honest, the second attack on the other one, so I could be wrong. But I only managed to get these, so we're going to use these. Impact Blow is very good, though. 180, and with the boost from single strike energies, you can even use this guy to get significant one-hit knockouts. Do 200, 220, or even 240, depending on your single strike energies. You can definitely get key one-hit knockouts. Laser Focus is very risky. It could come up, but against a fast deck, you're just going to be attaching the energies to this guy to die, and you just lose them for nothing. And energy attachments are very meaningful in this deck, even with Houndoom. These guys have big attacks. This guy has big attacks, so you got to be careful with your energy attachments. So I would rather just attach it on a benched single strike Urshifu than this guy and then use laser focus. But I mean, it depends. It depends on the situation in the game. So we do 3 and a 3, and then for the Houndoom line, I do 4 of the Houndour. Make sure we see it. It's one of our main support Pokemon, so you got to max it out, in my opinion. And then I just have 3 of the Houndoom, so we're just going to have to get by with 3. You don't necessarily need 4. it does help, but if you can just set up 2 or 3 on these guys on the bench, I mean, if you're even gonna have the space to just fill it with Houndooms, it should get the job done. But I just have 3 anyway, so we're gonna have to get by. It gives me a room for an additional tech, I guess. So it works out. Gotta have this, of course. I don't like his 2 for 50 attack. It should have been a bit stronger, but it is what it is. And yeah, 4 and 3. And then everything else is just text, to be honest. Single Strike Urshifu VMAX has a problematic weakness, the Psychic. We don't have Jirachi anymore from the Unified Mindset to get rid of his weakness, and that wasn't going to be very effective with Path to the Peak anyway. But Psychic weakness is very problematic because Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX is pretty popular, very fast deck, and is going to kill this guy with ease, or some of its partners will. And yeah, we don't even have like the weakness energy too. That would have been much better. I actually had this before the rotation, but of course it rotated. So we're going to be using this Umbreon V with Moonlight Blade. This is a single strike darkness Pokemon, so we can easily power it up with Houndoom as well. Single strike energy provides fighting and darkness, so we can meet the darkness energy cost, no problem. And the other 2, it can be any energy, so it's a very flexible attacking Pokemon, Moonlight Blade attack. You do 80, and if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, you do 160, so plus 80 more. So 160 times 2, since Shadow Rider Calyrex is weak to darkness, that's 320, you get the job done, so it's excellent. And Single Strike, of course, the energies is going to increase the damage even further. So this should be a very good Pokemon to counter any darkness weak Pokemon, and particularly Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Get us that big one-hit knockout, and it's going to be the Pokemon you're going to want to search and use. I would have maybe run 2, to be honest, just to make sure we have it, but I only have 1. You probably don't need more than 1, because outside of that sort of matchup, hitting darkness weak Pokemon, this isn't really a Pokemon you want to use. 200 HP, just doing 160 without the weakness is not that good. Mean Look, I guess that can come up, but it's not really a game-winning attack. And to retreat, it's not an amazing Pokemon on its own, besides hitting for weakness. So it's pretty much a tech right here. Speaking of techs, I also have this Hitmonchan right here. Now you might think I'm crazy for running this random card, but once again, we need an out for Altaria and Decidueye. Yeah, this guy can use Gmax 1 blow and ignore effects, which is great, but getting rid of all of your energies, doing overkill damage just to get a Decidueye KO, just get 1 prize, it's not going to be good. We don't have unlimited energies to sacrifice. Of course, eventually I might use Gmax 1 blow to get a KO, but it's nice to be able to put some pressure with Hitmonchan too. Use Clean Hit. You do 70 damage on a Pokemon that's an evolution Pokemon, so it's that 2-hit KO attack. Plus, if this guy has single strike energies, we can even get a 1-hit KO potentially. And those guys can't really kill this dude. 110 HP, they're not going to get that KO. So he can put some pressure. If I can just kill like maybe 1, Decidueye, maybe this guy, he's going to get a KO as well. Recover the dude back. Oh, actually, I don't even have, where is it? It should be in here somewhere. No, we don't have, that's my mistake. I don't have Ordinary Rod. So we only get one of this guy. I thought I had it for sure. Must have taken it out and forgot. But anyway, it's just an out. At the end of the day, it's going to be a discard outlet as well for the best card of this deck, which is Tower of Darkness. Going to talk about that later. But it is something that we can use. Doing 1 for 70 can be kind of good sometimes too. It just lets us set up for 2-hit KOs on big Pokemon as well. So he's not useless. He can be handy. So as a one-off tech, I have him here. At the end of the day, we could always discard him if we don't use him. And then the last 2 Pokemon is Crobat V for draw. There's no more Dedenne GX, so this guy's going to be your best ability draw Pokemon. So pretty good. One of this takes up the space on the bench, but it is what it is. And then I also have the one Manaphy here with Ocean Search. Okay, so there is the Jirachi from Mimic Voltage. It wouldn't be bad to run that. It's probably more consistent, but this can be more rewarding. We have 17 Pokemon, which is a decent amount, and it's a very good outlet to get me, those Pokemon as we're setting up. It can get evolution Pokemon too, so a great way to get Houndoom and this guy as well. And it's just a good Pokemon. If you open with this, you use it, try and get a lucky search, and then use, your level balls and stuff so that you don't decrease the numbers of Pokemon from your deck. So there's a particular way to use it the right way to increase your chances of getting the search. But it's a pretty good support card. I like it. I've used it in other decks as well, been testing with it. So one of this should be good enough. Okay. So these are all going to be the Pokemon. And for the trainers, I'm actually going to start with a stadium here. The Tower of Darkness. Now this is the best card, in my opinion, from the entire deck. Is what's going to make this deck work, and basically any single strike deck. With this, it's a stadium, counter stadium as well. You can discard a single strike card, and it can be anything. Pokemon, trainer, even stadiums. You can discard a Tower of Darkness to use Tower of Darkness, and then you draw 2 cards. So it's amazing. It drastically boosts the consistency and speed of this deck. And it's honestly what's going to make it work. Help us see our dudes and keep up with the meta, keep up with speedy decks like Shadow Rider Calyrex, even though that deck has the advantage over us. So you max this out, no questions asked. I don't even think you should run 3. You should just go with straight 4, since you can easily discard extra copies with its own effect. So it can never be dead, to be honest. It's never a useless card. Counter Stadium, draw power, amazing. You gotta run it for 100%. Okay. Next up, we got ball searchers and Pokemon searchers who max out the quick ball. Get this guy, get the other guys, max it out 100%. And then we also run 3 level ball. This is going to be good to get the Hounders early game. Get Manaphy as well. And that's basically it. Nothing, no other targets, but we'll do 3 because getting this guy super quick is important. And then later on, if we have any extra copies, we just don't use them. It doesn't matter. I got max evolution incense as well. Once again, getting Houndoom, getting this guy super quick is important. So we max this out. If we have extra copies, we just don't use them once again. It's no big deal. But we max them out for the early and mid-game consistency. Then I've got nothing else. Yeah, I had communication too, but that rotated. I'm pretty sure I couldn't put it in standard when I was rebuilding this deck. So communication would have been good with the big Pokemon lineup, but we don't have it anymore. And then typical techs, double switch, switching outlets can be very useful in this deck too. We got some big retreating guys, so run that. I've got the 1 tool scrapper, can always be handy, get rid of your opponent's tools. Got, what else? The Yearn of Vitality, Yearn or Earn, however you pronounce this. This is the last item of the deck, and it's basically going to be our recovery for the single strike energies. I do 2. It can be sort of dead in the early to mid game. You might even have to discard it. You would want to save it, but you might even have to discard it sometimes. You're not going to have a choice. But this is our only way to get back these energies reliably. And we're going to want to do that, trust me. So 2 copies is enough. I'm not sure if people play more of these or less of these, but it can't be dead in the beginning, so I don't want to do like 3, and especially not 4. 1 might be too little, and if you got to discard it, you don't have any other copies. So I think 2 is the correct number. It's been working okay so far. Alright, and then the last thing is the supporters. Yeah, this is a pretty straightforward deck. There isn't really fancy tools, extra cards, different stadiums. We do the 3 Marnie 100%. You gotta do her. You gotta run her for sure. I got 1 or 2 Professor Research. Got some of the Juniper one too. black and white chick. Rather have her than this new grandma here, because I don't give a shit about Sword and Shield. So we do 2, 1 of each. Discard outlet, heavy draw power, but you kind of have to be careful. You don't want to be discarding all of these dudes, you know, these guys, other valuable cards. So 2 should be good enough. 1 might be too few, especially because we don't have too many great supporters now. But I don't want to do 3 or more. Okay. Then we got Sonya. She's going to be good right now because she can grab Crobat and we can draw cards that way too. And get the basics, get some basic energies. 1 copy, good enough. I had her in here even before the rotation, so that's good. Scala, still amazing. Get me any card, even get a Stadium, and then we can draw cards that way. So very good utility. And then I've got the Bruno as well, a single strike supporter. If we do get some sort of knockout early to mid game, like we gotta let one of these guys get sacrificed or something, then this guy's gonna shuffle and draw 7, which is nice. Worst case scenario, discard it with Tower of Darkness. And it's just another shuffle and draw supporter. 1 of shouldn't be too bad. If you have a very low hand, even just shuffle and draw 4 might save you. Avery, I like the supporter as well, but can't run too many. 1 copy I think should be good for now. Straight draw 3, and then your opponent has to discard cards until they have 3 on the bench. Now, if they just have few Pokemon, or if you even help them with using this, then it sucks, and then it's just a draw 3. So that's not too great. That's why I only do 1, and just put this guy for more utility. You can run like maybe 2 if you want, but I think 1 is enough for now. And then the last 2 supporters is just, you know, this guy win you the games. It is what it is. Hopefully we don't have to discard him. I don't have a way to recycle him. I don't have Eldegoss V in this deck. There's just no space. If you want, you could drop this guy, I guess, and then put that in. If you don't care about, like, having no outs to Altaria or Decidai or whatever, you can. But I just have this, no way to recover it back. And then Cheryl, just 1 copy, could come up. This guy discards all energies when he uses Gmax 1 blow. So if we can just time this right, your opponent can't really respond. This guy survives after he uses this attack. And then we can just follow it up with this. And then just use this. And then use Houndoom, get the energies back. You're winning the game no matter what. So she's good, but she's a tech. Can't over-rely on her. Okay. And then the last thing to talk about is the energies. You max out the single strike energies, no questions asked. Too good of a card. Max out the stone energy as well. This is going to give us some extra defense, which is another, I guess, perk we can utilize. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then 3 and 4, 4 basic energies too. Something to grab with Sonya if need be, and then just something to attach to. You might need, I mean, the other beautiful thing that I can't forget, this guy's going to ignore Duraludon's ability too, which is really hot. So you don't necessarily need this, wouldn't need this to, I was about to say have this to hit that guy, but that's not even an issue because this guy can ignore his effect. But it's just nice to have a few basic energies. There isn't really anything else to run, to be honest. No weakness energy. Don't really want to do capture energy. There's no point. So just put some 4 fighting energies for this guy, and that's it. And this is basically the deck. It's pretty straightforward. Just a lot of 4s of many cards, 3s and 4s of many cards. And it is kind of good. I mean, with the rotation now, a lot of stuff have rotated. It has a lot less competition to worry about. Psychic weakness is problematic. Shadow Rider Calyrex is going to be a problem, which is why this deck isn't really top tier. The Rapid Strike sort of Urshifu archetype has found more success as a more reliable competitive archetype of the 2 from Battle Styles. But this guy can also be pretty dangerous if you allow him to set up, if you give him the time, if we get our draws going. I mean, it can be pretty deadly. And I'm going to show you guys matches as always, of course. So, hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, as always, maybe it would have been a little bit different if I had like 4 Houndooms. I would maybe run 4, then drop something. This guy doesn't need to be 4, but I only have 3 anyway, so I couldn't do 4 if I wanted to. And yeah, the deck building for this deck is kind of tricky. I found out the hard way. I did a lot of testing even before the rotation. It's the sort of tricky balance of being consistent, but not running out of gas, and just making sure you can make the big attack, but then follow up with an attack as well. Because if you just have enough energies for this guy to use the big attack, and then you attack, and then you can't attack the next turn, then you're giving your opponent free turns of you not doing anything, and that's not good. So you got to make sure you can dig for this and use this. You got to make sure you're going to use the big attack at the right time, and then make sure you can build this guy up again if you're going to attack with him, or just have another attack ready to go. So yeah, this deck is kind of tricky to use. It's not. It is straightforward, but you don't just play the cards in force and then you automatically win. You need a good build. I think this build is pretty solid, and we're going to find out in the matches, of course, ultimately. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. What up?